Hey, this is Matt. Once again, welcome back to another video, and this is a paid request for Movie Guide 2005. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, random thoughts, streams, commentaries, video game playthrough for an hour or full playthrough, movie review, re-review, whatever the case may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal. Do have a CashApp as well. Links are down below in the info box, and I will get to it as soon as I possibly can. And this is for the Blob remake from 1988, which is one of those movies where always been a fan of this film, always enjoyed this film, always thought it was a great, solid remake. And The Blob from 1988, I don't know why I sounded drunk there. I adore this movie. I don't know if you can barely see it, but right here is a laser disc that a nice person sent me. And it's back there all the time. Maybe you see like a little hint of it there. Which, by the way, if that person's watching, I hope you're doing well. And I first saw this film back in the day on VHS tape. Loved it ever since. Ever since. And I think I might have the VHS tape there, but anyway, I'll just put the poster there. It's the same. I remember it having taped on a VHS tape. The Blob was the first on the tape. I think also The Brain, but I never really watched much of The Brain. Because I think there was, tried to put 4 movies on there, and that was the last one, and so the third act got cut off. But I'm like, oh, whatever. I don't even know why I taped it in the first place, because it's not that great of a movie. The Brain. But The Blob, what it has a very likable cast, a pretty smart script, excellent, mind-blowing special effects, crazy death sequences, energetic direction, likable characters, monster action. It has pretty much all I want in a movie. That's why it's one of my favorites. It has all the makings of the type of entertainment I enjoy, I look for, I prefer. It goes at a good pace. It's never boring. It's based on something okay, but it does enough of its own thing to make it its own identity. The cast, whether it be Kevin Dillon, whether it be Shawnee Smith, all the cast I think do a great job. Art LaFleur, who plays Shawnee Smith's dad. The kids. One of the kids who plays the brother, Shawnee Smith, he would actually go on to star in Return of the Living Dead Part 2, which came out around the same time as this. Hell, even in a tiny role, Bill Moseley from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, The Devil's Rejects, he's in this as one of the soldiers. He's in the sewer where Kevin Dillon and Shawnee Smith find him. He's been injured, and he's the one, they get the rocket launcher, the bazooka, and blow up the truck and escape the sewer. But the cast do a great job. Candy Clark, who's the nice waitress. I think it's Jeffrey DeMunn is how he's the sheriff. And I say it because I'm bad with names. And he was in the Hitcher remake. He's a great character actor. And likable characters. And again, this is such an underrated script. I don't think people give the script as much credit as it deserves. Well, you got Chuck Russell directing it, who did Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, Dream Warriors, would go on to direct The Mask, Eraser with Arnold Schwarzenegger, among other films. And then Frank Darabont, who would go do The Shawshank Redemption and other movies. He helped write the script. And from the very beginning, I love the creepy music and the titles. It's in this purple, and we're from the Earth, shot of the Earth, and it keeps pressing down to this small, quaint town where everything's quiet. It's like a ghost town, and you see kind of the semblance of the town a precursor to the carnage we'll see at the end when the town gets attacked. But here we see the quiet before the storm. And where's everybody at? Everybody's at the football game. And we start getting introduced to our characters. We have the jock, who they really make it seem as if he will be the lead. And it's going to be a love story between him and Shawnee Smith. And this guy, the jock, was it Donovan Leitch? I should have had this up because I'm bad with names. I'm so bad with names. Yep, Donovan Leitch. So, and yeah, I also have Paul McCrane as the deputy. He's the guy in the original RoboCop who gets melted and then gets smashed and blown to pieces. But yeah, Kevin Dillon, Shawnee Smith, Donovan Leitch, Jeffrey DeMunn, Candy Clark, Paul McCrane. Jack Nance, who is the star of Eraserhead. He plays the doctor in this. But we start getting introduced to the characters. So you have the jock, you have the cheerleader. You think they're going to be the Steve McQueen role because you had the original film from the 50s, which, to be honest, I've never been a fan of the original The Blob. I don't mind the original The Fly. I quite like the theme from Another World in the 50s, but The Blob, the original just felt very cheap and very slow and very talky. And the characters, I mean, I like, Steve McQueen, but it just, it's not the worst thing ever or anything. I'm like, I'd just rather watch this. This is just so much more energy and intensity and ferocious and witty. So we're introduced to our characters, and then we're introduced to Brian Flagg, Kevin Dillon, which love him in the movie. It's my favorite role of his. Before this, he was in Platoon. He would later find fame with Entourage, among other stuff. Sadly, never seen an interview with Kevin Dillon talking about The Blob. That's the one big disappointment I had with the Scream Factory release, is that Kevin Dillon never sat down for an interview. I wish he would, because he did a great job. I know me and a lot of people liked him in the movie. He's really good in it. It's a really good movie. So yeah, I wish he would sit down for an interview. That would have been cool. But you introduced to his character, where he's the rebel. He's got the leather jacket. He's trying to deal with his motorcycle, and there's a lot of stuff in this movie that has the setup and has the payoff, which not every movie nowadays does. But this film has a lot of those done well. We set up the town and how quaint and quiet. All the locations. We pay off later when the whole town's going up the shitter. We set up Brian Flagg and one of the jobs he works with this guy who kind of is in kind of the snow business, and how this place been dead for a while. But we set up this location and these type of trucks for later on when something cold is needed to stop the blob and get away from the citizens. We set up at the beginning, we pay off at the end. Shawnee Smith's younger brother, there's this bit with the coat and it won't zip up. We pay it off because there's a bit where his coat's caught and he can't get it down because the zipper's caught again. Even one of the funnier moments is Donovan Leitch is the nice guy and he's kind of nervous about this date, and his other buddy, I always forget his name. Is it Scott Jesty or... Yeah, as Ricky Paul Golden. He's more of the rambunctious guy and says, I need a condom. But it's for my friend here. Yeah, it's my friend. And how about ribbed? Yeah. Oh, sorry, priest. Sorry, father. It's not for me. It's for this guy. Because actually he's doing it for him and himself, but he's blaming it on the other guy. That's what happens. It's for him, but he blames it on the other guy who doesn't know what's going on. So that later on, when Sharon Smith introduces the guy to the dad, it is the pharmacist, and the only word he used is ribbed. Because his buddy fucked him over. Scott Jesty is a dead man. Did good setups and payoffs. And same with the motorcycle. The motorcycle with Brian Flagg is not working. He can't quite jump the bridge. Then later on, he has a second chance. Makes it work in a very memorable moment. So it does that a lot. And again, you don't see a lot of scripts nowadays. Not saying there's none, but there's not a whole lot nowadays that does that kind of stuff. And this homeless guy and his dog see this thing fall from the sky, investigates it, does the wrong thing, gets attached to his hand, and then you see it start small, and throughout the film will get bigger and bigger and bigger. And I mean, the Blob, they really make it into a character. They really utilize the special effects as good as you can in 1988. And for the most part, it works fantastically. Now, yes, once in a while, in particular the third act, you'll see a shot, like there's a bit where now it's taking over the town, like it's a Godzilla movie or something, and in a good way. And there's a shot where you see like Kevin Dillon go from one side to the other and kind of stand and look, and you can tell like he's kind of faded. Because, like, they're trying to put him and, like, the Blob's in one thing back here, and then he's in another thing. And, like, because the coloring is, again, a bit faded on the people, you tell they're not on the same plane, if that makes sense. So it's noticeable. Does not ruin my enjoyment in the slightest of the film, but it is noticeable. But the practical effects and the gore scenes are fucking amazing. I still do not understand why this film gets slept on. I'll talk to people that go, yeah, that's a cool movie, but compared to John Carpenter's The Thing and compared to The Fly, this doesn't get talked about as much. And I don't understand it. These effects are fucking amazing, from the little stuff of the guy trying to cut his hand off and then the Blob going over and sucking that blood up, to when they bring the guy in to the doctor, and then later on they look at the body and you see that gory aftermath where half his body's been melted. Just so goopy. It's one of those things I am surprised this got away with an R rating, because there's moments in this film that's just so fucking gruesome that the MPAA would butcher. Okay, let me put it this way. The same year as this film, 1988, you had Friday the 13th Part 7. Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood. If you kept all of those scenes uncut, it still would not be as violent as this movie. Just look at the scenes of Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood, the uncut scenes on YouTube. Again, none of those, they're really good kills, but this is still nastier and gorier. The aftermath, the guy who half his body's been melted. The whole bit, this fucking shot where his face being pulled off and his arm gets ripped off. When Scott Jesty tries to put his hands on the woman, I think the woman is, I want to make sure I get it right, Erica Laniak, which you would see a lot more for Goods and Services and Under Siege, where her body gets sucked in like a vacuum, and then all these tendrils coming out of her face and stuff. A little boy gets pulled in. When he comes out, he's like half melted. The guy in the theater with the fucking yo-yo, and when the other guy comes in, you see like all this mass of blood and fucking mangled corpse. in the movie theater when Shawnee Smith finds that one person with the glasses, and when she does this, you see like the face is peeled off, and that is one of the goriest bits in the movie to me. It's so goopy and disgusting. Like, oh shit. Paul McCrane, who gets pulled in and his body broken in half like a twig. It goes to show you that I think what happened was the MPAA was more lenient on fantasy horror and more stingy on realistic horror. So you look at a film like The Fly remake in 1986, which had, hands being melted and ankles being melted and pieces of the jaw coming out when Gina Davis grabs Jeff Goldblum in that fly altered state, or the stuff in this, because it's fantasy, they're more lenient. Well, this could never happen in the real, because there's no Blob, but someone gets stabbed or a machete or an axe, then they seem more picky. They seem more, I just like, they feel it's more intense. It's more, whatever the fuck the reasoning is. I mean, it's still gore. It's still blood and all of it's fake. But it's all hypocritical nonsense bullshit is what it is. Fuck the MPA. I'm glad you rarely hear about those cocksuckers anymore. Because when was the last time we heard about the MPA, the Maricon Puto Association of Assholes? Maricones Puto Association of Assholes. So bad I had to call them out twice. I mean, hypocritical as fucks. But anyway. But yeah, the gore scenes are so cool. The sense of humor. Like someone dies and it cuts to someone sucking up jello into their mouth. I love the movie within the movie. The slasher film. The Garden Tool Massacre. Where at first you think it's part of the movie. Then you realize, it's the movie within the movie. And it's like this slasher film. It feels like one of those slasher films too. Wait a minute. Hockey season ended months ago. And that was fun because that was the age where you're having a lot of these type of slashers. Even by this year. I mean, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, Friday the 13th Part 7, Halloween 4. And then you have all these other slasher films. April Fool's Day was 86. Etc, etc, etc. So I thought that was a fun take and a fun thing to take a little bit of the piss out of. But not like mean-spirited or anything either. And again, the characters and the surprises. I mean, you think that the jock is going to be the hero, but then he does the right thing. He tries to help out this homeless guy. He treats Shawnee Smith well. When he sees the dead body, he goes straight to get the cops, called for the cops. He does the right things, it's just that he dies for it. It's like this character doesn't deserve to die. He didn't do anything wrong. He wasn't mean or nasty or rude he's just the poor son of a bitch. The wrong place, the wrong time, and has one of the defining death scenes in the movie. I love that shot. It just looks so fucking cool. And that should have been the poster. Like, that should have been the poster, not the someone's like upside down. Like that, I had never thought that poster was good. I thought that poster always sucked, the theatrical poster. Like, this one for the VHS always looked cooler. That's what caught me and other people's attention on home video. What the fuck is that? Like, that caught our attention more. Much more. And I know I don't really go in for, like, slipcovers. But there was a limited edition one that Scream Factory did on the 4K of this. I wish I could have gotten it. It was... But it was just too expensive, and I'm not paying that much. I don't have the film on 4K. Maybe one day I'll pick it up on 4K. But I'll show the cover in a bit once it, because it is a little. But if you look for it on eBay, it's like fucking $100. I'm not paying $100 for a fucking slipcover. I don't care, even though I do think it looks cool. And yeah, I don't have the 40, but it's just not that fucking much. But anyway, as I was saying, what the fuck? Oh yeah, the cover. Like the theatrical poster, I always thought looked kind of weak. But yeah, the characters. I mean, you think that guy's the lead, but then Brian Flagg becomes the lead. And that's the thing, is that yeah, he's the rebel, but he's actually, you see multiple times he's a decent guy. You see that he is the outsider, but he tries to help this old guy. He treats him well. And I love this moment. There's always a cool moment, a nice little moment between characters where Kevin Dillon goes, "Hey, dude, you're going to be okay, right? They're going to take good care of you." And as he's doing this, he kind of looks, and Shawnee Smith is studying him as if, okay, that's who this guy is. That's the real guy. This is the real person. This is a guy that he's not, what I thought who he was. There's a lot more to him than meets the eye, so to speak. So I thought Kevin Dillon was very likable. He was courageous. He was funny at times. Yes, I love his hair. Hell, I'm jealous. I shave my head bald. I want that kind of hair. So I don't know what's so bad about that hair. I'm like, you can give me that hair and I'll wear it. Please be my guest. And Shawnee Smith is my favorite role of hers. She's strong. But she's not a girl boss. She makes mistakes, but she is strong and she's capable and she's courageous. I love the character. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. It's the original, the other cover. Like, that's the poster. That looks like shit. Like, look at that. That looks like shit. That just looks goofy. Nothing to it. Now, this one is the 4K cover, but it was only just limited. This is the cover I would love to have. Is there a better pic? God, I don't know if I need it. God damn it. It is the best I can do. Like, that's a cool looking cover. That's an awesome cover. I would love to have that cover. Like, that is such a cool looking cover. Like, that's what I want. But it's just too fucking expensive. So, it is what it is. Maybe, I mean, who knows? Maybe one day I'll say fuck it. But I don't know, it's just too... But that's a cool looking cover. So. That's a cover I would not slip. And grip and rip and tear and bit by bit slip over my dick like all these other... No, I'm just kidding. I don't slip anything on my dick unless she gives me permission and is old enough, like in her 30s or 40s. But anyway, but that's a slip cover I would actually like to have. But I mean, hey, this is one of my favorite films, so... This film I saw once back in the day, and sure, anyway. No. I know I'm going all over the place. But yeah, Shawnee Smith is a very strong, capable character. I think they're both pretty smart characters. They work well together. Kevin Smith and Kevin Smith. If Kevin Smith is in this, yeah, they really fucked it up. Kevin Dillon and Shawnee Smith. I like the sheriff, Jeffrey DeMunn. I like the fact that, okay, they arrest Kevin Dillon, but the sheriff actually has common sense. He's like, listen, this guy's a punk, but he's no killer. He has no blood on him. We see what's left of the remains. It doesn't seem feasible he could do it. He has no blood on him. This just doesn't make sense. So they let him go because we gotta find the actual perpetrator. I like that. It makes me root for the sheriff because, you know, whether inadvertently or subconsciously, he's doing the smart thing that the audience can appreciate. Like, thank you for not being a dumb, redneck, stupid sheriff. But then it makes us sad even more because he tries to do the right thing and he gets his ass killed too. Just like, Candy Clark the waitress. She does the nice thing, lets Kevin Dillon eat. Here, I'm going to give you this as a freebie. He's being nice to them, being courteous to them. But it doesn't fucking matter because you're going to die. And then you have like one of the better death scenes. Well, before that, there's the death scene with the guy, Scott Jesty, in the car where he tries to date rape someone. So he does his just desserts. Now, granted, nowadays, this is the one death scene that does give me a bit of confusion, question marks. Because the Blob's pretty much like acid, like a living, breathing acid. Maybe we find out later it's a government test that fucked up, but it's pretty much like breathing acid, like a living, breathing acid. So Erica Laniak, somehow the Blob went in, somehow got inside her body without her making a peep, I guess, or moving an inch, did not leave any marks on her body. Again, when it's like acid, but somehow, I guess, went into her mouth or whatever, and just then left no marks. And within, 30 seconds where this guy was in the trunk fucking around with drinks and stuff? So like 30 seconds or so, and he got to the car, got into her body, she didn't move an inch, no marks on her face. I don't know, I mean, this fucking Blob's a magician. He's Magician the McDickin. The Blob, that's a fucking sorcery from the Blob. He's a fucking magician. Just teleports. He's like Jason Voorhees. He teleports right into the inside of the body. I mean, how the... So, yeah, I mean, I can't explain that. I don't fucking know one iota. It makes for a cool reveal, even though it doesn't... I mean, it's a sci-fi fantasy, I know, but even within, it's like, doesn't make a lick of fucking sense. But, I still love it. It's still a fun scene. And hey, I mean, the poor girl got it, but the guy, hey, don't date and rape. Just saying. It's no good. It's no good. But then you get like one of my favorite death scenes in the movie is the guy who gets the Blob gets his head and pulls the head down the fucking drain. And the way you see the head go into the drain and the pipes burst and the blood seeping out. And then you see like the leg and it shoots down. It's such grisly, gory stuff. And just like the energy and the Blob popping out onto the ceiling and shooting its tentacles out. And then you have the death scene in the phone booth where the poor waitress stayed for way too long. And one of, I would say, the most creepy death scene. Because I think in reality it's like they put like a doll in there in place of the waitress. But you see, it's like the character gets pulverized. I don't know how to put it. Where it kind of, the pressure of getting into it just, and it like turns her into goop. It will like just turn her into a soup in an instant, in a flash. It just something about that always creeped me out. Just like, I just always looked so fucking nasty to me. Whew. And pretty much this is when the characters get together, more so our two leads, and they try to figure out what the hell's going on, and eventually leads them to being in the woods, and you find these soldiers, and at first you think it's some alien life form, but eventually we find out it was a government test of a disease, went into space, came back, has evolved into this government test that fucked up. I didn't mind that change. Thought that change worked for this era of not trusting the government and the paranoia and can you really trust your government type of thing. Germ warfare, biological warfare. I think it worked perfectly fine. It also brought a bit more element of action. We have the soldiers with the guns, and you have a chase sequence where they're chasing Kevin Dillon. You have that great moment where he jumps the bridge and gives the middle finger. I like the score. I know a friend of mine, I think it's Mike OCP. He wasn't, I think it was him. He wasn't big on the score. I love the musical score. I think it fits perfectly with the movie. Whether the sort of creepy pieces at the beginning to show the quiet bits of the town, or the more action pieces like him jumping the bridge, or later on when our two main characters are on a motorcycle and they have to kind of go across this wall to avoid the blob. I think the musical score does a really good job. And I do like the song at the end, Brave New World by Alien. How fitting that the band is called Alien. I mean, I don't know if I would say the love story was... Okay, the two leads do a really good job. It's a kind of like a sweet love, but it's not honed in as much as the song would seem like it would. I don't know how to put it. Like the song makes it seem as if the movie was all about the love story. But at the same time, I like these two characters, and I'm glad they get together, and them getting close to the end was happy and satisfying, and I still like the song. Brave New World. So, I'm still glad to have it in there because I do like the song quite a bit. But yeah, let's say I love all the bits and pieces. The movie theater massacre, people just getting gobbled up by the blob. There's some nasty gore there. Shawnee Smith getting the two kids escaping. The kid's coat gets caught, ripping the coat off, into the sewers. The little bits where her hair gets tangled, and whenever you do something gets caught, you kind of feel that pain. How many movies actually, like mainstream movies, especially in this era, have a kid getting killed? Very rare, at least at this time. And he just pulled out down to the water, comes up, it's all bloody, and it's like, oh shit. And then that's where you have Kevin Dillon getting the girl. They escape. They're trapped. They've been cut off by the military and Meadows. Dr. Meadows, that fucking asshole. Well played by Joe Seneca. Meadows! But then finds Bill Moseley. Yes, which I'm surprised they actually interview him on the Stream Factory Blu-ray, which I was surprised by, because I'm like, come on, Kevin Dillon. Like, Bill Moseley was willing to do an interview, and he's in the film for like a minute. Come on, dude. Get your head out of your ass. It's a good movie. I don't know why. Is he ashamed of it? Like, what's the problem? What's the deal? I don't get it. Sound like Seinfeld. What's the deal with Kevin Dillon? But yeah, and then how do I put it, I forgot what the fuck it was at. Takes the bazooka, blows the shit out of the truck, has a standoff. Some tests they fucked up. Some shit happens. They try to destroy it. They put some bombs down there, grenades. Doesn't work. As Kevin Dillon says, I think you pissed it off. And then it shoots out and becomes like a big like monster movie where it's taking over the town. And I love like seeing the Blob like grab like swat them like flies, and when they come back you see the person in the thing. Again, some of these shots you could tell whatever, I forget what term they were using. You could tell they're not in the same plane of existence, to be fair, but some, for the most part, it was a lot of fun to see that stuff. Some of the soldiers tried this flamethrower and it fucks them up and burns them. Eventually, they figure out that the cold will hurt it. Kevin Dillon gets the truck while the others are cut off in like the courthouse, whatever. Kevin Dillon gets the Blob away and saves a lot of the people. Then Shawnee Smith goes in to save him and gets the machine gun. I love the line, her acting, the way the camera moves. Come on, you could do better than that. Fucking badass. See, we had badass women in the 80s. You fucking people in the world of today that says, sexist back to the... What the fuck are you talking about? Have you seen movies before 2022? God damn you. Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Shawnee Smith was a badass too. So fuck you. But anyway, I always thought it was kind of goofy that she's able to plant a bomb, but then she trips and somehow can't get out of these cables that are barely hanging on to her. No, I guess to give a bit of suspense, and then Kevin Dillon's able to save her just like she saved him. But I don't know, if it was like... maybe she had like to hold something, like the Blob's trying to eat through it, and if she lets it go, the Blob will get her, but she gotta maneuver it. But then Kevin Dillon gets her out of the way. Like, is her just falling? Like her legs are kind of. I thought that always looked kind of goofy. That's one of my few nitpicks. Like, I only have a few nitpicks with the film. I love the way it blows up, and the one guy throwing the snowball at Kevin. Told you we'd get snow. Gotta have faith. Thought that was fun. My few nitpicks of the movie is I don't like the sequel bait ending, because we never got a sequel where the priest, he's been burnt up and the Lord will give me a sign. He has a sample of the Blob. There was never a sequel. I just wish that wasn't in the movie. So that's number one thing I don't like. Number two, like I said, some of the wide shot effects at the end where, again, you can tell the people. Then the people like look a little bit faded color-wise, and while the big Blob is there in the back. That's nitpick number two. And then number three, Shawnee Smith just getting her legs somehow tangled, which didn't really make a whole lot of sense. It looked goofy. And number four, the one death scene where Erica Laniak, somehow the Blob got into her without no marks or anything. I'm like, I mean, I like the idea. I maybe a little bit more logic I kind of wish was put into that. But those are only a couple nitpicks. The rest of it, like I said, this is one of my favorite films of all time. I could watch it anytime and get immense joy and fun out of. And yeah, someday I would like... Again, the reason I haven't picked up the 4K is that I would like to get the one with that specific cover that I mentioned. But again, just too fucking expensive. Hate that. Like, why can't that just be just the regular cover? Because again, the theatrical one just looks like shit. But anyway, and the Steelbook one, this one I'm not, this one's just kind of nah. It's, I wouldn't say I'm too big on it. I mean, it's better than the theatrical poster, but like I said, actually, just that one looks pretty cool. Which actually, let me see something real quick. Sorry, I want to do a little bit of investing right here that's not on my phone. So I just want to see some real quick. Which I don't even know how the hell I got that on there. Because I'm not seeing it on here. Of course not. Well, how the hell... Okay, I don't even know what this website is. Anyway, okay, I'll end it here. Like, I don't need to keep going with this, but with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. I'm just going over stuff. It was fun to look into this film again. Love this film to death. It's always been a lot of fun. Thanks for watching. Take care, and we will see you in the next video. Thanks once again for the request. This movie is just a lot of fun. Just so much fun. It's what I want. Likeable characters, good script, sense of humor, but at the same time, a whole lot of fun. Fantastic special effects, good cast, good music. Just what I want out of entertainment. This is what I want out of entertainment. And this film bombed, and that pisses me off. And people go, well, why did it bomb? It may be a bomb because of the title. Maybe it bombed because people thought the Blob idea, the title just seems like a goofy, silly title to see in the theater. Maybe the theatrical poster didn't do a good job selling the movie. Maybe the stigma of the original Blob being kind of this campy film, so people thought this was going to be the same type of way. I don't know, but it's a shame this film bombed, and it didn't deserve that. But yet, some really shitty films can be hits. That's just how it goes. But with that said, thanks for watching, take care, and we will see you in the next video. Bye-bye for now.